Hey folks, this is Kelani. Welcome back to the Tomb of Sargeras Mythic Raid Guide. This time we'll be looking at the Sisters of the Moon. For this video I'm going to assume you're familiar with the fight on Heroic. If not, there will be a link down below for you to go view that video first. For this fight we took 2 tanks, 6 healers and 12 DPS. This encounter plays out more or less exactly the same as Heroic, except you have a hell of a lot more health to get through and everything hits like a truck. There is one key difference, which involves people triggering Astral Purge. Whenever a player swaps sides and triggers Astral Purge, they will deal AoE damage to the entire raid and apply a stacking debuff which further increases the damage of that AoE. The debuff doesn't last very long though, thankfully. After trying several different strategies, the best tactic we had for this was to divide the raid into 4 groups. As the moon progressed through its cycle, we would call for the next group to swap over. This meant we only ever had 5 players triggering Astral Purge, so a maximum of 5 stacks of the debuff at any one time, which was more than manageable, especially with the 6 healers we had. You will also get 2 rounds of moonburns between each eclipse, so you'll need those players to clear in between groups, making sure they don't reapply the current debuff. When moonburn went out, we always had the targets clear it by triggering Astral Purge as a priority, and the groups would just be delayed slightly. Because moonburn only applies to 2 targets, any melee who are targeted should be free to pass over and immediately go back so they can get back to the boss. Continue clearing groups after the debuff has fallen off, and any ranged or healers who moved over for moonburn should just stay there until the next eclipse and then continue to clear with their own group. You should also be wary of the Twilight Glaives being cast and try not to send a group over as the Twilight Glaive is going out. Getting comboed by the glaive and the raid-wide AoE can kill people pretty quickly, so try and wait to clear a group if a Twilight Glaive is coming soon. If you get targeted by Twilight Glaive and you have high stacks of the Shadow debuff, you should use a personal cooldown to take as little damage as possible. During the second phase you also need to watch out for Rapid Shot. Your healers should be tracking the debuff and spot heal the afflicted target. If the target has high shadow stacks, again use personal cooldowns or even external cooldowns to stay alive. If at any point you go above the 5 stacks of the AoE debuff, you should stop any and all movement across the divide and wait for the debuff to fall off. Plenty of wipes on this boss were people simply not waiting for the debuff to clear before charging across the line. This fight is usually pretty long on Mythic, so make sure your healers rotate their cooldowns efficiently to make sure every single embrace of the eclipse is dealt with promptly and all DPS should be DPSing the boss while the shield is active. You should wait to start DPSing a Moon Talon if it spawns as the moon is about to reach an eclipse as well. A Screeching Moon Talon and an Embrace of the Eclipse is a deadly combination which you should try to avoid. When you start getting the glaive storms, it's imperative your raid watches for the mounted boss around the edges and they get ready to dodge the glaives. You can run around doing 0 DPS during glaive storm. There's no hard enrage on sisters, so staying alive is the most important factor. When the incorporeal shot starts again, you can all stack for the shot while the first glaive storm glaive is thrown and spread out to dodge the little ones after. You can't immune or cheese the shot anymore, so you absolutely have to soak it. During the last phase, make sure your lunar beacons are being positioned perfectly, and anyone who can immune it totally should. You can stand on top of other stacks and use something like Bubble, you can use something like Turtle. I wouldn't really recommend Ice Block because it silences you and you'll probably die trying to get out of it after, but anything like Cloak, AMS, anything to help reduce the damage and stack them up neater is going to help you in the long run. Getting people used to the idea of crossing over in groups and learning that you can't be triggering Astral Purge willy-nilly are the big hurdles here. The rest is practice and pulls. So that's all you should need to take down the Sisters of the Moon on Mythic difficulty. If you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or hop on over to Discord, we have a server at discord.gg/Kelani, great place to come ask questions or just hang out. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.